VCR Redux will begin in T-5 minutes.
What the fart is VCR Redux?
It's the show where we take movies from the VCR era and bring them back to today.
How do we do that?
Well, we start by talking about a VHS classic, and usually you'll say something like,
I haven't been this uncomfortable since I watched Meatballs 4, Meatballs to the Rescue with my parents. Oh yeah, or you'll say something stupid like,
I wish we lived in a world where the Garbage Pail Kids made as many movies as the Muppets.
but I know you'll always see it through with a positive attitude.
I hate this movie, I hate being here, I hate all of this. Oh, Jamie Kennedy. Oh, well, shit. Well, let's go for this.
He was in Son of Mask. This is genius.
I am not a gamer. I'd rather read books.
Ian's like the old lady that's like, I got video game monsters, I got toy monsters in here.
As long as we respect the passion and the artistry that went into these films.
You know, obviously they took this movie, it's 93, right? You're like, what do you want to see in your Mario movie? And they're like, oh, we want it to be grim, we want a lot of death, we want tits and ass.
Oh, and then we start the pitch ideas with modern day sequels like
Weekend at Bernie's 3, Cocaine Mountain.
Sometimes we take it kind of seriously.
I'll watch a Paul Verhoeven alien movie.
oh my gosh, that alien will have more vaginas than anything you've ever seen in your life. Sometimes this Hawaiian shirted fool will pitch something stupid like,
I would take out the virtual reality stuff and just have it be about Jeff Fahey mowing the lawn.
Sometimes the best pitches come from the live chat.
Alex Bonafonte also pitches Grand Theft Starfighter Vice Galaxy.
wait, I thought I had the best pitches.
And what happens at the end of the movie? The ultimate fart. The fart that the warmth goes like all the way down to your socks.
The only rules are, there are no rules. Sometimes we cross over franchises.
Only the truck from Tango and Cash can kill Christine.
And sometimes we travel back in time.
Like 1995 is missing a good Universal Soldier sequel.
But you never know what we're gonna pitch next.
What do you want? Do you want Daniel Stern behind like a muzzled mask? Like,
We all know it should be Pesci behind the mask, and like underneath the mask, you should hear him going like fritter, 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 fritter.
you are so proud of yourself for that one. I can't stand you.
I would also love to see a Charles Bronson version of It's a Wonderful Life.
What?
Direct to DVD.
If you made a shot-for-shot remake of Scarface with Goofy as Al Pacino, it would be amazing.
Oh my God.
Gosh, you need me to be the bad guy.
It's like the worst 1987 Disney movie Disney's ever made. Schlongo, directed by Jim Wynorski.
Like, I would watch a whole bowl of that.
Do the John Holmes story. Add a comedy spin to it.
Wow, the Wonderland murders are so funny.
I'd watch it on my mobile.
Something happens and he goes into a coma. He gets like, hit by a car or something. I know this is dark, but like, bear with me. He's got to go on.
Did you just go like Hard to Kill with Ferris Bueller?
I'd watch it on my iPad.
If you want to just like throw in the kitchen sink, it all works. Like Alien versus Predator versus RoboCop, like that works. Alien versus Predator versus Terminator, that works.
Alien versus Predator versus Ernest, that works.
That works.
I respect everything you just said. I need David Silver and Terry Silver and the Sloan family all learning the Quicksilver, but they're doing it in Breakin' 3 Hydraulic Boogaloo. And it's underwater. It's gonna be incredible. Eat your fucking shit out, James Cameron. I got the underwater movie you can't touch.
That was the most disgusting thing I've ever heard in my life.
Mr. Toxie goes to Washington.
My ass would be in the theater tomorrow.
If Harley Quinn gets 7 movies, then Tank Girl should get at least 70.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of in my life.
I mean, why should we even bother with Look Who's Talking when Air Bud is soaring to new highs?
All I know is I want Danny McBride.
I'd want him doing anything other than writing Halloween movies, honestly. Anything that keeps him away from that fucking job, I'm for it.
Just let him talk out of his butt. I don't care how he does it.
I'd rather not.
Austin Powers doing the Macarena.
That would be the opening credits. Come on.
But we have not yet had Die Hard on a half pipe. What if John McClane Jr. was a pro skateboarder and also an avid machine gun enthusiast? Skater Die Hard.
What up, virtual people? Welcome to the 186th episode of VCR Redux. We take your favorite franchises out of the analog era and bring them back to 2025. I'm your host, pop culture punk Chris Stiles, joined as always by my co-host with the most complaints, film professor Ian Klink.
How you doing, everybody?
And we have three radical guests on the show tonight. First up, the third leg of our VCR tripod himself, Mac Daddy Mickey Torres is Mick back on the show.
What's up, everyone?
And we have a double dose of VCR debuts tonight. He's the director/producer of Game On, and not to be confused with our former president, Andrew A.J. Jackson is on the show.
What's going on? How you doing, baby?
Thank you so much for coming on. And
Thanks,
she's
Chris.
an actress and the leading lady of Game On. The fully nominated Grace Juliana is on the show.
Hi, everyone. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much for coming on. We are here today to set our snipes, to defrost Steven Dorff, and to ice skate uphill. That's right, folks. This world needs Blade 4, and we're here to give it to you. But before Ian starts lobbying against techno music, we got to dish on how Blade came into our lives and what we love about it. And of course, that goes double for you at home and everyone watching the live chat. Was it love at first Laserdisc? Vital VHS? Hit us up in the chat and let us know how Blade came into your lives. But Grace, when did you first get bladed?
My mom made me watch it probably in like the early 2000s when I was in elementary school. And I probably left the room and cried, but now I love horror and I love being a horror actress. So I'm happy that she made me. And so when it first came out in the early 2000s, my answer.
Early 2000s. The grade school reference just made me feel like the guy at the end of Last Crusade. I just aged 1,000 years. I was like in college already.
What? Huh?
What did you say?
What did you say? You went to see a movie?
I don't mean to make you feel old. It's crazy that a 5-year-old could watch that movie.
Oh,
No, it's not. No, it's not. And I'll tell you why. God bless my parents, but I'm 4 years old and I'm watching Creep Show 2. So, I'm a movie maker now. So yeah.
Then.
So no,
I was on a steady diet.
They did it right.
I was on a steady diet of The Lost Boys by the time I was 3. So, but what about you, Andrew? When did you first see Blade?
Oh man, so 98, right?
98,
when it came out. And I took this girl Larissa. We went to go see it in the movie theaters, and when it was actually out there, and it was, you know, here it
It's a
is,
good
Wesley
date
Snipes.
movie.
Yeah, it was a good date movie. It was because it's like I'm a kid, I'm 18. Hey, we're going, and here's Wesley Snipes, fresh out of New Jack City, or now he's a superhero, you know, and it's like, and it was such an awesome movie. It's still like, you know, Blade is an iconic character. Here we are, almost 30, 40 years later or something. I don't know, whatever, you know, 30 years later almost.
Oh my God.
Almost 30 years later.
That's so crazy.
Almost
God, I'm
30
aging
years
again.
later.
Now I'm the fucking crypt keeper.
Almost
I'm gonna
30
turn to
years
dust.
later, eh? Is it,
That guy saw the first Blade for a nickel.
Oh,
what about Mickey? Was this a McDate for you?
Yeah, I was like probably about 2021.
Okay.
So I was on. Yeah, so I'm the old man in the group. So
My knee pain is
I don't
fading
feel
now.
so
Thank
better.
you.
Yeah.
You need my shoulder feels better now, baby.
No, exactly. Hey, like fine wine, I only get better with age. But in
Oh, that, I
any
believe.
event,
That I believe.
but in any event, it was
Welcome to the show of Grace and Grumpy Old Men. That's what this show is.
Don't get me started. I'll embrace that.
We've got the spectrum here. You know, we got the spectrum here. But yeah, no. I mean, like I saw it with a date. You know, probably my then girlfriend at the time, and
So I love this movie. Is a good date movie, and it brings people together. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh well, I mean,
yeah. The Cold War ended because of Blade. Okay, got it.
Oh,
It did.
it's
And the blood gods. And the blood gods.
That's right. And the
and
Daywalker.
to be true, like I didn't even realize, like, you know, like I never had heard of Blade, the Marvel character, before. I was just going because it was a vampire movie, so I'm like, I'm sold. I'm like, and then I mean, like, you know, obviously you find out because just researching it, trailers and stuff like that. I was like, oh shit, this is cool.
I could definitely agree. There's also no wrong way to Blade, so Just want to throw that out there. But when did young Iowa Ian discover this masterpiece?
Well, to correct you, there is a wrong way to blade. It's called airborne. Anyway.
Oh, shots fired.
I'm sorry.
No,
Did that happen? I apologize.
No. Don't worry.
I was standing
Daywalker
over here in the shade.
Don't worry. The Daywalker will grind in Ohio before this show is over.
Oh,
tonight.
he will. Oh, he will.
That's right. He will ride down the devil's backbone.
Break his hip. The what I remember when I didn't go to the theater to see Blade, and I think I was in the same boat. I wasn't, this is a pre-Marvel era that I don't remember seeing the comic book. I never heard of the comic book. I did the same thing. I'm just like, oh, Passenger 57 is in a vampire movie. Okay, this
right. He must have
it was never Wesley Snipes. It was always Passenger 57. It's like
there are no Demolition fans in this panel today.
Demolition Man is his. I think that there's Sylvester Stallone and him. Oh, that's one of my favorite Westerns.
Oh, it is a best.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's incredible.
I tried Taco Bell for the first time because of that movie.
I don't mean to jump in and cut things off too much, but I gotta say, between Demolition Man and Blade, Wesley is kind of the unspoken king of '90s cool. If you think about it. There's a kind of like a 90s cool aesthetic that they kept making these movies in the early 2000s. Like Underworld is still we're making 90s cool movies. We got the techno one, we got the trench coats, and it's all leather and vinyl and whatever, and that it kind of goes maybe from movies like Virtuosity and Johnny Mnemonic all the way up until the Underworld. I know.
Virtuosity. Wow.
I love Virtuosity.
Oh God, I hate that movie. I hated it then.
I'm just staying silent because I'm young.
She's like, "What's Virtuosity?"
Oh
my God!
Well, you see here, young lady, there was once a time.
I had to put on my Ben Gay before Blade.
There was a thing called VHS.
No, I know. Okay, that I know because I got the Disney tapes downstairs, the VHS.
Oh, you got the clamshells.
And I am a big fan of Wesley, but I really only know him from Blade. I really only know him from that franchise. I should watch his other movies.
Well, that does actually make sense that if you
it is probably the movie that introduced. I mean, what I was gonna say, what I remember Blade being when I first saw it was, late night high school, gather at a friend's house. There's 20 kids. We all show up at a friend's house. And, eventually somebody would bring movies, somebody would bring some movie. And I remember Blade being one of those movies, so I remember being in a friend's basement, watching Blade while we all, ate, some, probably Totino's party pizza. Greatest food ever, by the way.
Pizza bagels.
Yeah. Pizza bagels. They still exist.
Oh, Totino's party pizza.
Yeah.
This is that movie though that you would pair with pizza bagels or toaster strudels or some other insert 90s food here.
And there was that one, and there was that one group, the couple that everybody hated that they were together because all they did was make out. They were in the background.
Watching
you're trying to watch the movie, and you're just all you're hearing is the sucky, gross sounds because they don't know what they're doing. And you're just God dang, shut up. I'm trying to watch Passenger 57 slay some vampires.
Oh man, I think that's what I'm gonna call it from now on.
You so sound like Napoleon Dynamite's brother. You're like, I'm trying to scam up some chicks online.
I wasn't the one slopping back there. I was the one trying to watch the movie. I was telling them to shut up.
I will get to my first time getting bladed in a second, but first I want to check in with the live chat, see who's tuned in tonight. I see we got Angie Saunders, the mashup genius, Mikey Riffraff, the other mashup genius, Monica Thyman, our favorite Swede from across the pond, Caitlin Allman, America's Next Top Model, Oscar Toronzo, the statue himself, Michael Ricci, our favorite location scout, Gold's Code, the great Sean Gold, Whiskey 41, the great Alex Bonafonte, Cobra Kai Never Dies, our good friend Joanne, Dustin Nino from Retro Fiend Radio, makers of the finest canon and martial arts docs online. We got LaRue Voodoo in the chat. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody.
Nice.
So a lot of love for Wesley Snipes going on so far. Whiskey says greetings and salutations. What seems to be your boggle. So yes, I'm glad you gave me the opportunity to circle back to Demolition Man, just to, if for no other reason than the fact that he's so fucking cool in that movie that like
Oh,
that
man.
fictional character inspires the like second phase, the renaissance of Dennis
Rodman,
and
exactly.
the
Dennis
90s
Rodman,
Bulls,
right,
and like you
right.
don't get there without
The blonde
Demolition
hair on
Man.
Wesley, right?
And you
The
don't
blonde
get
hair
to
on Wesley.
Blade without Demolition Man either. Because
Yeah.
Demolition Man probably led directly to Wesley developing a Black Panther movie at Columbia back in the day. And when
Yep.
that wasn't happening was when he found the script for Blade and was like, you know something? I like this, and I think I'm gonna go make this instead. So we almost had a Black Panther movie in the late 90s with Wesley Snipes.
Was he
Wait,
wearing
what?
makeup
But-
in that movie? That's my joke, because Wesley Snipes wore makeup and he like dressed up in the 90s. Did he not?
He
That's all
did
I see on Instagram.
the great Tu Wong Fu.
Wong
That's
Fu.
a movie that we
Did
yeah.
AJ,
Oh, I
your
love that
favorite
I didn't
movie.
say anything. I said not a word. I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you talking the Marvel Black Panther or like?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask that
like the
question.
Black Panther movement.
Panther
Like,
Party or
No. Yes, Marvel Black Panther.
Marvel Black
yes.
Panther,
I'm
okay.
sorry. You're right. I should have prefaced
Okay.
that.
Marvel's Black Panther. That was
no,
gonna
it-
ask.
He was,
yeah.
he was gonna play Black Panther the character.
Yes.
Okay.
Not-
Oh,
not-
nice. So he was determined to do some Marvel IP.
He was
Yeah,
actually really pushing for a Black Panther movie for a long time. He was obsessed with that character. I think the way that Nick Cage was obsessed with Superman, and similarly, they both wound up playing different characters, and both wound up doing movies written by David Goyer, which we will get into with these, because David Goyer, of course, the great writer of like the Dark Knight movies and classics like Kickboxer 2.
I would have actually really liked that. The Black Panther. Wesley Snipes. That would have been actually.
Well, we'll get into our revisionist history of Black Panthers and different Blade movies that almost happened, at least in my heart. But also in the chat, Gold's Code saying Blade was the epitome of cool, just like how Ian is the epitome of uncool. It says Blade was the.
Wow.
Also says Blade was the first bootleg VHS I owned. I saw Blade 2 on bootleg DVD and saw 3 in theater, which sucked. Who is this ravishing beauty? Oh, that's Mickey. Hi, Mickey. So a little love to you, Mickey. Dustin, you says I saw this at the Dollar Theater with my cousin. Whiskey 41 saying Mark Harmon got bumped again. LOL, Demolition Man is a classic. Michael Ricci says I remember being in the theater, loving this movie, good vibes. Cold's Code says one of my nicknames during my nightlife days was Daywalker, pretty dope. I could see that.
That's nice.
Monica Thyman saw it at a friend's house for movie night. We all loved it.
See, telling you.
And Michael Ricci agreeing that this is.
They have
good.
the sloppy couple.
Well, Michael Ricci verifying.
Look, we all knew that couple. We all hated that couple. But they were
to that point.
Always
to that point, Michael Ricci says he got to third base during this movie, so apparently Michael was that couple. So good for you, Michael.
There might have been a movie I was a couple too. I might have been a couple.
Yeah, me too.
We all had that movie. Mine was. I think I Know What You Did Last Summer, or that, or Scream 2, like those middle Kevin Williamson joints. Those were definitely for me. But this was one that I don't think I saw in theaters, but this was one. I guess I probably first rented it as a VHS, but my strongest memory of this film was when I finally got a DVD player for Christmas. In like my freshman year of high school, and my dad got me a stack of movies. Ironically, one of them was Virtuosity and one of them was Blade.
Yes.
And
why can't we do Virtuosity?
We will eventually.
No,
probably.
you won't. You've been promising
much
me
to
that
my
for
chagrin.
years
Much to I'll hate it, but we'll do it at some point. But I gotta say, this first Blade, yes, it's a brilliant R-rated movie. Yes, it's a brilliant comic book movie before comic book movies were a thing, and a Marvel movie before Marvel movies were a thing. But also, like, to me at the time, this was just a fucking another kick-ass Wesley Snipes movie.
For sure.
Like you said, Passenger 57, Demolition Man. I was like, all right, well, this is going to be an awesome R-rated violent bloodbath with vampires. Great. Like the comic bookness, I was pretty much completely unaware of. I'd never heard of the character. But like, you get it. It's a well-marketed movie. The trailers make you get it, and you're like, all right, bet. Like, I am all over this movie. So I remember this being one of those movies too that like it was a great movie to break in like your new DVD player. Like
for
DVD
sure.
was so
I had
new.
this.
Yeah.
I think my copy was from Blockbuster. You remember when Blockbuster used to do like the used DVDs where you would get like
yeah.
You get the most
for-
scratched up coaster disc ever for $5. Yeah.
Mine were always
Grace,
good. Mine were always good.
Grace, there used to be this thing called the video store.
Okay, wait, I'm smiling. I wasn't just looking pretty. I was smiling because my mom took me to Blockbuster like every Friday to rent
She's
a
not that.
movie.
She's not that young, guys.
Well played, well
not
played,
that
Mom.
young.
But
Okay.
do you all,
I
can I
gotcha.
just take a moment though and just appreciate that, because we all have our video store days. I know we talk a lot about that, but how
it was
awesome
Friday.
was it that all of us had that memory? Like
That's
it's
right, yeah.
really a memory. Like you
I
can
miss it
smell that.
so much.
You can
Yeah.
smell that memory right now.
It smells like
Yeah.
Nestle Crunch and stale butter
And yeah,
popcorn.
and there's still microwavable popcorn.
Oh,
Hell yes. Hell
yeah,
yes.
man. Yeah, man.
But it's funny. What I remember a lot about this was actually Blade 2.
That's my
Sorry,
favorite.
Blade
Okay.
II.
So that is good. You know, probably should start talking about the sequels a little bit. Yes.
Well, what I remember, Blade 2 is one of those DVDs that, especially in the early 2000s when I was in college, there was a certain amount, there was always like certain DVDs that everybody had in their rooms. And like it was Blade 2, Wedding Crashers, and like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like those were
Oh my God.
like
I can
2003.
taste bong water right now, Ian. Thank you.
Nowhere near you was a woman in your room.
It smells like Halo and regret right now.
Literally, but like everybody had Blade 2 for some reason. They didn't have Blade 1.
You're right.
They had Blade 2, and
you're right. There's a kind of an age break there where I feel like I was of the Blade 1 having generation. But at the same time, my roommate, who's actually 6 months older than me, had Blade 2. So you put us together and we were quite the pair until Blade Trinity came out.
Which is great because Guillermo del Toro,
that's what I was gonna say.
God,
Part two
made
part
that
two was my
movie.
favorite,
Which made that movie completely like.
It's probably the only Guillermo del Toro movie I actually like.
Oh, really? Wow.
That's
rough. That was rough. That's rough.
I'm
He's a
sorry.
prolific Mexican director.
Listen, I am all about my Hispanics.
Yes,
I
surprised.
love
read
my
your
people.
name and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Why would you say that?
I love my people. I'm a huge Robert Rodriguez fan, but Guillermo del Toro does not.
Well, there's no room. There's only room for one.
Yeah, well, it just does. He's
Highlander.
so hype. There's so much hype.
You've never watched
So much
Road
hype.
Racers. You lie. You lie like a dog.
There's the only actually I'll do you only one other one I liked, and that was Kronos.
Kronos, nice.
Oh, man, I remember that movie.
I
but
remember when I
have
went to
not
film
seen
school too. Okay.
It's the English patient of Guillermo del Toro.
Was it NYU?
I love that you say Guillermo.
Guillermo.
Yeah,
that's I would expect Ian to say Guillermo, but
Well, I'm saying it in the way that everybody
sorry, I
knows
said
it.
it
I'm
correct.
Okay.
For me, part two was one of my favorite because of how they reinvented the vampire with the split mouth.
Yeah.
It was it was interesting. It was like Predator meets the vampires from Blade, and it made it that much more awesome to me. Like the first one was a really good film. Like you guys said, the first one was like just like the cinematography was good. The blood rain and the camera creeping up his feet to reveal Blade for the first time. Like those shots were really good.
Oh God,
Yeah,
Christopherson is the best.
Yeah, those shots were really good, but I feel like Blade 2 for me brought me really into that world, even with Nomak the villain. Like everything about it just felt fun and entertaining. I was like really drawn into that. Part 2. Part 3 is part 3 was terrible.
I'm talking about part 3.
Justice
it was terrible. Can we delete part 3?
Yes, I'm with you. I'm with you on
three.
Trinity. I'm
Listen,
Team Trinity here.
Jessica Biel,
where's the garbage?
Ryan Reynolds. You can't go
Where's
wrong.
the garbage?
You can't go wrong.
Yeah, I agree. Ryan
Parker
Reynolds,
Posey.
comedic
Can't
genius,
go wrong.
and hot ass Jessica Biel killing vampires.
Exactly.
I'm gonna watch that.
Listen,
You got Patton Oswalt.
nobody in the
Triple H.
world, nobody in the world can tell me
we
that
threw
they
everybody's-
watched that they watched Seventh Heaven and sat there and said, like, one day Jessica Biel is going to be in a badass vampire killer movie. Nobody said that.
Dracula threw a baby off a roof. Dracula threw a baby off a roof. I'm okay with that. He threw the baby off the roof. He said, here, catch the baby.
He
No,
went
I'm
into
not much.
he went into like a GameStop or a video game store and he killed the girl at the front desk. Like that's my significant memory from Blade 3 because they were playing that scene at a GameStop when I was there getting a game with my brother and I like wanted to start crying. Like they were
The
playing
most-
that game at a video game store. It was that scene of the movie. It was really scary. And I remember
most-
he did that because that is the actor from Prison Break.
That's right. Yeah,
he
that is
threw
the guy from Prison Break.
he threw the baby off the roof. Yeah, I remember. I
Oh,
remember
and he
threw
killed the baby? Okay, I need
He
to see
didn't
that
kill it.
again.
Blade has to save the baby or chase him.
He threw a baby.
He threw the baby.
Oh my god.
Can't go wrong. Can't go
Kick
wrong.
babies, don't
You
kick
throwing
dogs.
babies. I draw the line at throwing babies, guys.
Don't
that
watch
why
any
you don't like
Vietnam
it?
movies.
Wait, I appreciate you standing by your. I appreciate standards.
Someone's got to have. Someone's got to have
Someone's
morals
gotta
on
Someone has to stand up for the
VCR.
babies.
After 186 episodes.
I will tell you this though, I appreciate Blade Trinity only for the fact that it kind of gave us our, I guess, Blade 3.5, which
yes.
is Deadpool
Deadpool.
versus Wolverine.
Oh yeah. So okay, all right. No, and then, yes, I
Which,
did say he.
I'm
brought
not
him
gonna lie, was probably one of my favorite moments from that movie because I
Yeah.
did not see that coming from a mile away.
Well, because of whatever we were told that happened on that set, we didn't. That was the absolute last thing that you would think Ryan Reynolds would do, and because he did it, it made it such an iconic thing. And then to see Wesley, older Wesley, like he said, his hip, he might break his hip now. When when Demolition Man Wesley would break your hip, right? But I mean that's just with the gray streak in his hair.
Oh, great.
Love it.
Yeah. I wanted to say
Give me
that was-
Old
that was-
Man Blade. Yes, like
yeah,
they
Old
did
Man
with
Blade,
Logan.
man. It was, yeah. So it's very so. I still draw the line at throwing babies. I don't.
The only way they could have made that even better is if instead of Gambit was Dolph Lundgren as the Punisher following him.
Yeah, I would have loved that.
I would
too.
have literally just.
That would have been like, we are not worthy. Even
only,
Thomas
only
Jane.
four of us. We would have been the only four people that would know.
Yeah,
that
true.
character. Nobody
Also.
else would know that character.
Also true.
We're the one guy in the theater that's like, ha.
They'd be like, why do they have the guy from Rocky in there?
Yeah, what's Ivan Drago doing here? Yeah,
Why is
exactly
he-
right.
Why is he in the movie?
If he dies, he dies.
If he
I
dies,
will
he
say not
dies.
to get too deep on the
Kill my family.
not to get too deep on the Deadpool and Wolverine. I will say that cameo was slightly ruined by the spoilers for me because I would have jumped out of my seat if I didn't know it was coming. I would have literally jumped. I would have been so excited, but I knew it got spoiled. So, and also I found the what's his name is Gambit so distracting. Channing Tatum. Like, I thought it was the worst thing I'd ever seen, and like that's obviously the joke. I thought like that's supposed to be.
That's
it's supposed to be terrible.
said, but people said it's supposed to be a bad voice, like what you just said. But that little scene was going around Instagram.
But he
like
makes
months.
a joke. Ryan Reynolds
Yeah.
makes a joke. He said, "Who is your dialect coach?"
Yeah,
Definitely
exactly.
asks
So it's
him.
like, so it's totally the joke. But then I think like, oh my God, was that what that movie would have been that like they developed for 10 years? Like, whoo, thank God we didn't get that. I have always wanted
But he
Time
did.
Machine.
Didn't they
be
just
truthful.
announce? Isn't
be
he going to
truthful.
be in Doomsday? They just announced him. He's in the Doomsday.
Really?
They just announced today.
Is
that he's
Gambit?
in Yes.
Oh, he's
Well,
in it.
I
No,
mean,
fuck.
unless he's playing something else.
All right, shit. Well, fucking,
But
like I
he's
said, they
in-
only open my mouth to change feet sometimes.
I was just about to say, I gotta admit, I wouldn't mind seeing Channing Tatum in Gambit again.
Well, you will when Doomsday. He'll be in Doomsday.
It's
I
not
want
bad.
I want a time machine so we get a young Thomas Ian Griffith to play Gambit because I think it would be perfection.
Oh, yeah.
That's Terry Silver for those
What
of
is
you.
with you and that man? You put that
He's
man.
the greatest living
Yes.
actor today.
It's the same in you and Robert Downey
Um,
Jr.
A man can't stand, he can't fight, Ian.
But
No.
I stood by that one movie, Hard Point. You know,
Well,
Thomas Ian Griffith and that is amazing.
it's
Did
no
anyone-
it's no excessive force.
Did anyone watch Lost? The
Yes.
I
TV
did not.
Okay, there was a character, an actor from that show, Josh Holloway. They offered him the role of Gambit. This was like in 2004, 2005 when Gambit
Wow,
was
this-
in a- when
yeah.
Gambit was in a Wolverine movie. And he said no. I think it was Wolverine. He said
Oh,
no
yeah, it
because
was Origins.
he didn't want to be typecast because his lost character was the Southern badass. I guess my point is I could think of a lot of people that I would like to see rather than Channing Tatum.
The dude
but
from True
Grace,
Blood.
why
would've
do you
been
know
cool.
that? Why do you, Grace? Why do you?
Bro, I just finished Lost. And my mind is totally boggled because you should have a show on Lost because that is just an amazing show. And I was stalking, as you say, all the actors and their work. And Josh Holloway, who plays this sarcastic Southern guy, he was offered Gambit before Taylor Kirsch is the actor.
Taylor Kitsch, yes.
Taylor Kitsch, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think he did good. I mean, he might
Yeah,
have
I
been
liked
the
him.
only
I
good
liked
part.
Taylor Kitsch,
He
yeah.
might have been the only good part about that.
The X-Men Origins movie, yeah.
I hate that I'm saying that out loud, but yeah,
No.
Origins. I was excited
I
about.
love Origins. I love
What?
Origins. But I love Origins.
What?
But here's the thing: it's a great movie, just not a great Wolverine movie.
Well,
It's like if you take Wolverine the character out of the movie and you just did like a random
But
person.
the movie's about the Wolverine character.
I know, but I still like
exactly.
it. I still like it.
So
You
it's
know,
like
Sesame Street would be great without that goddamn big bird. You know, like it would, it just would have made it better.
I
Bring
still
it
like
back to Blade.
I
That
still
actually
like Wolverine.
That actually reminds me of what Patton Oswalt said about Blade Trinity. He goes,
Yeah.
anyone who's seen the movie knows it's a D, right? It's a D movie. But like I was on set, and if you understood like the chaos that was going on, I consider that movie an A+. Just the fact that it even got released is incredible. Like that's the most. It's up there with Citizen Kane. The fact that it even came out in theaters, like he's like, you have no idea what destruction it was on set. Like, yeah, Wesley went crazy on that movie.
What is the gossip? I need to look up the gossip on my own if we can.
So David Goyer, who had written all 3 Blade movies, becomes the director of the 3rd film after Stephen Norrington from the first one turned it down, returning, and Guillermo del Toro turned down, returning, because none of them liked the script. Wesley didn't like the script. He eventually... There was this one scene where David Goyer let everybody pick their own wardrobe for filming. And there's one extra out of everyone who happened to be black, and he picked a shirt of the band Garbage. It's a 90s alternative band.
Okay.
Apparently, Wesley comes on set and says, blows up at David Goyer, says, you have one person of color and you make them wear a shirt that says Garbage. And he wanted to like fight him, thinking he made him wear this shirt, not that he let everyone pick their wardrobe. And that kind of kicked off their bad relationship from the start. And like every day, apparently from there, it only got worse, because I don't think you can get better from there. Like that's a pretty awful way to start, you know?
That sounds very specific.
The band
though, like-
Garbage?
Yeah, the
Yes.
band Garbage.
Oh,
band
they did one of
Garbage,
the
yeah.
best Bond songs of all time. Heck yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't.
Garbage
But
in
that
it.
doesn't. That sounds so. Like I guess.
Well,
I mean,
Wesley
I hear,
doesn't know who Garbage
But
is.
yeah, eventually
Yeah.
Wesley is only showing up if he's got close-ups. He's only coming out. He's only answering to Blade. He's only communicating through Post-it notes, and like it got crazy. Yeah, it got nuts.
Yeah.
He would only refer to Ryan Reynolds as like that guy, and then only refer to
yeah.
Jessica Biel as that girl. Like
Yeah.
refused to learn their names. He didn't understand
my
Ryan Reynolds
God.
ad-libbing. Like it got fucking crazy, you know.
Yeah.
And like I will say that's incredible to me. I want to watch the No Holds Barred documentary on the making of that film. You know, that sounds amazing. Like there's a Blade 4. You know.
Well, that Justin B, whatever his name is, has got it on wrap, so you're never going to hear about that. You know, their lawyers are involved.
Oh, I'm sure. But it is past the half-hour part of the show, so it is time for us to decide what we would want to see in a 4th Blade film. And we already have speculated a little bit on this, but there are some pitches in the live chat, so it's always the best place to start. Angie Saunders, the Mashup Genius pitch.
Oh, good.
Her pitch is Blade and Ghost Rider team up to battle vampires fueled by demonic serum. I'm in already. I love this. Unbeknownst to the vampires, they have struck a deal with the Prince of Lies unless they can convince Blade and Ghost Rider to save them from the demonic pact. A+ pitch. That's
that
fantastic,
actually-
Angie. Yeah.
That's very cool. Very
I
cool.
love
Is Hellblazer DC?
I don't even know what that is.
Ghost
What's the
Rider.
thing?
Ghost Rider.
No, Hellblazer
She said
is
Ghost
DC.
Rider.
No,
Yeah.
She said Ghost Rider, right? She said Ghost
Yeah.
Rider. dude.
She said Ghost
I
Rider.
know, but
yeah.
I was trying to think of like who. There's a cool idea in that of the like the Marvel
DC? Crossover?
monster series.
The
You
Dark
got
Universe.
Ghost Rider.
The Midnight Suns.
Yeah,
Midnight
the
Suns.
Marvel version, right?
Midnight
Yeah.
Suns,
Yeah, it's something. I'm trying to.
DC has
That's a
Justice
team.
League Dark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're both there.
Swamp Thing is DC. I keep
Yeah.
I'm trying to everything I'm coming up with is DC.
Well, there are some more pitches in the chat though. Gold's Code with the pitch. His pitch: the Preps team up with the vampires to get revenge on Mitchell, but Blade stops them. Now you will discover there is more than one way to Blade in Bladerborn. Oh, Bladeborn.
Bladeborn.
Suck this, brah. Now I love that because this time they've got to skate up Devil's Backbone instead because they got to skate uphill. Yeah,
How
yeah. I'm just
freaking
saying.
Trying to ice skate uphill, baby.
Trying to
How
ice
freaking
skate uphill.
cool.
I hope
Oh,
the
it's a
director
frozen
of
hell. Oh, this is
Airborne
beautiful. It's a Christmas movie.
knows
I
that,
love it.
man. I
What's
really
that?
do at this point.
He better be watching the show. So another pitch, Whiskey 401's pitch: a new breed of vamps thrives in the city, the Daywaddler. A blood bus provides the cover for operation, but when Blade catches on that movie tickets were substituted with straight to DVD crap, he fights back with ease. Steven Seagal in Dull Blade. So there's a tradition on this show. We always have an Airborne connection, and we always have a Steven Seagal pitch. So I love that these traditions live on. And I would love to see Wesley Snipes chop up Steven Seagal. That would be.
I'll yeah.
That'd be a real good fight too.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Yeah,
Take my
can you
money.
imagine a fight scene between the two of them? Oh my
Well,
god.
it'd be great because Steven Seagal only gets shot from like the nipples up at this point. He just does slap fighting because he's too fat and vain to let anyone ever shoot his gut. Like, and he's wearing trench coats to hide it, and so he looks ridiculous. But God bless him. God bless him.
Well, does anybody know what happened to the one that was supposed to be coming out with he was in
Michelle Ali.
Yeah.
They're in,
What happened?
yeah, it's still in the works. It's in the
Still
production.
in the works.
He didn't like the script.
What?
I don't think
he didn't like
the
it.
he didn't like the script because it wasn't about Blade. I think it was about Blade's daughter, and it was focused on her. So he was more like the B or number 2 on the call sheet, and he was like, "Well, this is supposed to be my movie. It should be about me."
Can we not get Wesley? Because like everyone said here, like we would
And
like
now after Deadpool,
old
after
Blade.
Deadpool, people want old Wesley.
Yeah.
But I think you can. There's a room since they've done the multiverse. There's room for both of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so maybe have old Wesley show up, and you have the other version come with.
Well,
Michelle.
do we count the TV show? I mean, did anybody see that?
I did not see the TV show. Yeah,
with the dude from Onyx. I forgot his name.
Omar, right? Omar Phillips or Omar.
Omar.
I didn't see the show, so
the rapper's name was Sticky Fingers. I think Sticky Fingers. I don't know.
I remember him as Sticky Fingers. That's all.
Sticky Fingers. Yeah, he was from Onyx. It's a rap group.
What a great legacy to have.
So if that movie does come out though, it would be so cool afterwards because Marvel does these like shorts and specials and stuff now to do like a 1 hour or like a 45-minute short, like a Blade No Way Home, where you have the TV show Blade, you have Wesley Snipes Blade, you have I'm gonna say his name wrong, Michelle Ali, and just for like added flavor for me, it would be great to have another Blade variant show up, and it's Omar Epps, and it's like from some universe where they let Omar Epps take over Blade in the Night, because I'm sorry, but
I hate this man.
You love it and you know it. Omar Epps is a fucking god.
Because listen, I don't care what anybody says.
You would love it.
Fingers Jones.
With this,
That's what it is.
If there's ever a show on YouTube that is going to say how much we actually appreciate Major League 2, it is VCR.
I love Major League 2. I was just looking up Major League freaking memes the other day. I'm sitting there trying to like I am them to people. I'm like,
they are.
Even I at the age of 8, I'm like, that's not Passenger 57. What?
Yeah, I would donate my life savings just to get the Willie Mays Hayes, Jesse the Body Ventura movie, Black Hammer, White Lightning, like to make that a movie. I would love that so much.
That was like Wesley Snipes really was rocking so much. Like his name is almost in every iconic film from that time.
Oh my God, yeah.
Almost. If you think about it, I was just like, wow, I completely forgot about Major League until this moment and how that character was so stand out.
And
Yeah,
like
it's
If
so
I,
crazy.
if I could for 1 second, like a sequel to me, I would be more interested in. I mean, like I know we talk about like old Blade being in the new Blade stuff like that, and you probably can have them there too. But I would love nothing more than a Spider-Man movie where Blade's in it too, where you
That
have
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
that
Blade.
happens in the comics. That happens in the
Yeah,
comics.
and
Yeah.
you have
Morbius. Yeah.
he's chasing Morbius. Now, we had that lame Morbius movie, but bring him into
It's
the
terrible.
Marvel.
It's
You
terrible.
have Spider-Man, you have
really that
Morbius, you
bad?
have
I didn't see
Blade.
No, it's pretty bad.
It's
fine.
not even watchable. It's not
So,
even watchable.
Craven the Hunter, even worse. I just
Yeah.
felt like Sony
Wow.
just kept going down, 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 down. I've
Why
tried
is
to
no
watch
one mentioning
The Last
werewolves?
Dance.
Can we get werewolves and Blade? Let's turn this into
Oh
Underworld.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, take my
Underworld.
money.
Yeah.
Take my money. Yes.
Yeah, no,
please.
that would be great. That would be great.
That'd be
I
awesome.
like to do a Howling
I want to
sequel.
see
Let's do
Blade and some werewolves and maybe some Ryan Reynolds and add some Scarlett Johansson for some drama.
Oh yes.
Oh, you gotta have Kate Beckinsale. I want the Underworld, the Blade to coexist because I want some
Oh
Beckinsale.
man.
Beckinsale, that
Blade-
suit.
No,
Oh,
take out
Blade
ScarJo. That
chases
was
the
a bad
vampires
joke.
from
Let's add
Underworld.
Kate.
I
And
would
he's
also.
fighting the vampires from Underworld. That would be crazy because they can really fight. The Underworld vampires
yeah.
are like Blade level vampires. All of them though.
I would love to watch a Blade like multiverse hopping movie where he's just like 1 second he's in a Twilight movie killing like the cute sparkly teen vamps, and then the next minute he's in True Blood slaughtering fairies and you know what I mean, shapeshifters and whatever they have in that shit. And yeah, just get everything. He's in Teen Wolf, you know what I mean? He's Scott tries to dunk on him and he stuffs him. You know what
dude,
I mean?
why did Robot Chicken never do an episode of that?
Oh, my God.
Like-
I love that. Yeah.
That is so
Oh,
true.
that would be
I
that would
hate
be
you.
cool.
That would be so much
cool.
fun.
That would be so
That
much
is
fun.
the
Yeah.
Robot Chicken. That is a Robot Chicken episode.
It totally is.
You
But,
hit it
okay.
on the nail right there.
I'll raise the Robot Chicken stakes in one more degree because I know in my heart of hearts, somewhere out there, when Canon made a Punisher movie, there's another timeline where they made a Blade movie as well, starring Steve James as Blade, and fuck me if I wouldn't die to watch that movie. Like, Steve James is the coolest dude that ever lived, and I know he would have crushed it as 80s Blade. I know, I'm sorry. He's an obscure 80s action star who came up in movies Riverbend, American Ninja. He was also in Weird Science, Johnny Be Good. He is, a million other movies too. Avenging Force, yeah.
In some world, not Michael B. Jordan, but like Michael J. White would have been awesome as Blade.
Oh no,
Totally,
well,
yeah.
I mean that's why he tried to do Spawn, which kind of
That's
didn't.
right. Spawn,
I mean, it's
yeah.
still.
You flew too close to the sun.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
could have waited 1 year.
It's like, I want to like it, but I think he would have been a great Blade. But I think we don't get that
perfect movie to like when you're 12. But when you're
I
didn't even like it then.
Well, it was the HBO cartoons that really got
the
you like,
HBO
hyped
cartoons
for
were
it.
great.
Oh,
yeah, they were
like,
great. They were great.
I didn't like too many
and-
movies that year. Yes, I didn't like Spawn, and I didn't like The Fifth Element. That was not a good year for me.
Yeah.
You didn't wait. You didn't like.
I know, right? I know.
I'm with
like,
you. I'm
way
with you.
alone on this.
You're
yeah.
literally the
You're not alone.
background. The
Not
background of your
alone.
wall is literally the Fifth Element. Like,
Wow. It's it's a little bit more enthusiastic than Gary Oldman was during The Fifth Element. So,
He was crazy in that movie.
Yeah, he was,
but he
just
felt
feel
like he was
so-
asleep though. He did. Come
Yeah.
on, that's
It was just such a colorful, fun
Yeah.
movie. I just think. I mean, I'm not gonna
Why are
say
you a
that.
communist.
It was just fun. It's just like
And-
I don't think I feel like that's what we lost nowadays too. Like people don't have fun in the movies anymore. Like what is this? The electric company thing, the new Russo brothers thing they did.
The
What
Electric
is it?
State?
Electric State. Yeah, I had
Bob
fun watching that movie.
Brown?
And most people crapped all over it. I just wondered. I didn't care if it made sense or not. I just had fun watching it, and I think that's what The Fifth Element did for me. I'm sorry.
No need to apologize. I barely even I've heard of that thing, the Russo Brothers thing, Electric State or whatever. It sounds kind of
It's on
familiar. but
Netflix. It's
I'm
on
so
Netflix.
I'm so stuck in like the 80s and 90s. I'm still like, oh man, we need more Blade movies.
We do need more Blade
We
movies.
do. We need more
Blade
Blade
4.
movies.
We need
I
more
see,
Wesley.
I will say this. I don't know why I thought of this today, but I don't know where the rest of the movie goes. But I do find the opening to this Blade 5 or whatever number it would be.
4.
It would not be 4. You can't. You
All
have
right,
to. get Deadpool
3
versus-
point, yeah, 3.7.
3.5. Yeah.
All I know is that the opening of the movie is Blade is dead, is in the ground. There's some vampires who like kill somebody near the graveyard. The blood goes in the ground, and all of a sudden you get Wesley Snipes busting out of the grave and in
Yeah.
the ground. And imagine like just rain, Wesley Snipes, mud, and blood just pouring off of him.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a cool trailer shot.
The
right?
Jason Lives opening. Yeah.
Yeah,
Blade
yes,
Lives,
that would be
yes.
amazing.
Fuck yeah, dude. Give me a lightning strike. Give me all of it. Like, yes, I'm
But
so
only
there for those.
just to reveal that it's Wesley Snipes, because everybody thinks it's going to be the other guy, and it's like, no, just give me Wesley Snipes again. I'm there. Like that's the most fascinating thing to me is that we replace all of these superheroes. We replace them every 5 years,
Not Blade.
except Hugh Jackman.
Except Hugh Jackman.
We have gotten Hugh Jackman since 2000.
Because he's the only, because like he plays such an
So
iconic,
we replace
Yeah.
everybody.
like
Don't
Wolverine.
replace anybody. Good Lord, Chris Evans was 15 superheroes.
Yeah, he-
Like, I mean,
For sure.
but not Hugh Jackman. Nope, just go do some weights, buddy.
You know, that's not fair. Now I'm thinking about it. Why does he get to stay?
That's what I'm
And
saying.
we gotta replace Wesley Snipes. That's not cool.
Well,
Agreed.
because,
Agreed.
because Hugh Jackman doesn't get old.
That's true
Yeah,
too.
Wesley
But
looks
neither does Wesley. Yeah.
It's not even. It's not.
Get some
it's-
Just for Men on him,
to-
and he looks exactly the fucking
to-
same.
to-
Jesus
I mean, I will
Christ.
tell you
To
this.
me,
Did
it's
anybody
not
see
even that.
Did anybody see Dolomite is my name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That
Yeah.
man actually should have gotten an Oscar nomination.
Yeah, no, that was
Wesley
he
Snipes
did.
in
He
that
did.
movie
Yeah.
is
Yeah, he was
genius
good.
in that movie.
Yeah. That's a really good movie, actually. That's a
Oh,
really
it's so
movie.
good. But yeah, no, but I agree with great. Like, great. Why not bring back why do we always have to replace them? Like, what Deadpool versus Wolverine told us is, hey, studio,
Wesley can do it.
we like keeping them. We
But
don't care.
why?
If they,
But the
we
reason
want-
why
yeah.
is like they're like Hugh Jackman's Wolverine character, the movies that he played. You can hate some, you cannot hate some, whatever the case may be. It was still good, and it was still doing business. Logan was probably like
Oh yeah.
the best of the best in that atmosphere and that group. Blade was at 3 what killed it.
Well,
I love it. But
I
basically,
I
it
think
was-
the reputation of what happened on the set.
yeah,
killed it
and
before it even came out.
on top of that, the Blade character wasn't something that somebody was saying like, you know what, like Marvel wasn't really going like, we need to do a new Blade movie.
Yeah.
They were like, doing the IPs that they knew they would build on, and then when they bought Fox, the first thing they had in mind is X-Men. And
Yeah.
and when you think of X-Men, you think Hugh Jackman. You cannot replace Hugh Jackman. That was like the one thing. Even if you're gonna
Yeah.
do it, maybe you could do it down the line, but you introduce X-Men and you introduce Wolverine with Hugh Jackman. So with Blade, they wanted to just start from scratch. Like I feel like they wanted to build their own kind of thing.
Patrick Stewart, for crying out loud.
I mean, well, if you think about it, the X-Men series came out after Blade, right? So we're what, how many generations out? A generation and a half out from Blade, the original. So people don't, so people are like, we can restart, we can reset. Even though whatever age we're in, I'm not going to mention, we would love that character. We would love, because it'd make us feel included. But the
Petition
kids
to
would not.
replace Hugh Jackman. I'm gonna start it tomorrow. Yeah.
I don't think you get very far.
Cut her mic.
I'm not gonna get very far. It's a total joke. He's great. It's just, you're right. They keep they keep him, but not everyone else. But
I'll bet you that the guy who was
Got it.
originally scheduled to be Wolverine and had to drop out, he'll sign it. I forget his name right now. Shout out in the chat if you know his name. You're a super fan. There are some more pitches in the chat though. Gold's Co with the pitch. Another airborne pitch. You might want to cover your ears, Ian. His pitch: the Preps, backed by Vamps, challenge Mitchell and crew to an ice skating match. Mitchell and the crew are aided by Blade for a game that will determine mankind's fate. It's Blades of Steel, so it's also a hockey movie, and I'm in favor of this.
Shit, yeah.
Then at
sounds
Christmas
awesome.
time, yes, I love it. Blade winning the Stanley Cup and having it filled with blood, oh, that would be incredible.
The
Gold's
fights
Code
would be
also.
awesome. The fights would be awesome.
I need everybody to understand in this world, airborne actors only get maybe half a penny in residual checks. This is not a movie that is out there readily, okay?
But
I didn't need people
but-
to understand this.
Ian, I think you can appreciate this. There are some movies that you like that we do not like that you keep mentioning because you want to keep the names out there and keep the movie alive. We do the same with Airborne.
I don't
That's
do
true.
that. There's you know.
We just want to
Well,
keep it alive. We want to keep
we're doing-
those checks
we're-
coming. Those checks coming. Keep
We're
coming.
certainly doing our part. Another pitch in the chat though. Oscar Toronzo with a pitch. The Wayans brothers reunite with Wesley as his unknown and newfound siblings. They team up to kick some bloodsuckers' ass. It's funny, it's adventure, it's cool, and it's groovy. I am in favor of that.
What, literally, I'm
100%.
gonna get you bloodsucker? That's a
I'm gonna
genius
get you
movie.
bloodsucker.
That would be awesome. That would be
That's a
awesome.
genius movie.
That
I'm gonna
is
get you
brilliant.
bloodsucker. That was brilliant.
That's a genius movie.
Bam! That's
Get
my
you
next
bloodsucker.
matchup. Dude,
Oh.
Get you
take
bloodsucker.
take my
I'm
money.
gonna
I
get
don't
you
even
blood-
I don't even need to know which Wayans brothers. It could be any two, all of
He's got
them,
a
whatever.
splinter.
I'm
He's got
so
a splinter from the cross. He tried.
there's no wrong way to
I'm gonna
Wayans.
get you
Oh.
blood. Yes.
Oh man,
Oh,
that would be
that
awesome.
would be
God, so good.
great. That would be great.
Also, Michael Ricci pitching Blade and Van Helsing teaming up. I'm also in favor of that.
Yeah.
Another Hugh
so,
Jackman.
Whiskey.
I'm fine with that. As long as he doesn't
Oh, that's
pull this out. Boom, boom, boom. Like put those away or Van Helsing, his blade.
That movie was terrible.
After
Great.
after Wolverine, he's gonna
That movie
bust
was
out them
great.
testicles.
Yeah.
Is what he's gonna
Yeah.
bust out.
The movie wasn't great, but I still watch it for one reason and one reason only. 2 words. Kate
Okay.
Beckinsale.
Oh gosh,
I hate
yeah,
this
there it
movie.
is.
I hate this movie.
So the perfect title though for our Omar Epps version in the chat, Whiskey41 saying Major Blade 2, and goddamn if I wouldn't watch that.
Blade.
Yes, please. Also with another pitch, Whiskey, the holidays can be lonely for romantics, especially the mutant kind. It's the X-Men, the Avengers, and the rest in Blade Actually. Ooh, that's actually, I like that. That's
Love Actually, I get it.
It's got a little meat. It's got a little meat cute vibe to it. I'm in favor of this. So the other thing I was going to say that I think is actually most interesting about what to do with the Blade movie is what to do with the villain, because we're clear as day. We want Wesley back. We want
Dorf.
Old Man. Do you want Dorf to come back somehow? Because he was
Dorf
the best
to come back in
villain.
anything.
He was the best villain, but I don't know. I feel like I want something epic. What would the Thanos be of the Blade universe? Like, what actor
What
would
would
play
be
the
like-
ultimate villain for Wesley Snipes? You know,
I kind of believe you have to go back to Morbius.
Yeah,
Jared
it'd have to
Leto?
be. I was gonna say it would have to be. No, well, Jesus. No.
I'm sorry. I'm
No, I mean, I'm not.
Hold up.
You
Hold
can
up. I
recast
got it.
that for sure. You
I
can
got it.
recast
It's
that.
a recast.
Danny DeVito is Morbius.
I got it. I got it.
Might be better. Might be better. Might be
They've
better.
been
Alright, what do
wanting
you
him
got?
to come to this universe for years. But if you had Blade versus Interview with the Vampire Tom Cruise as Lestat,
Oh my God! Yes.
And Tom
Now-
would do all his own stunts in the movie.
Now
too.
listen,
He would do all. his
I
stunts.
that movie sucked, but
You suck.
I'm a huge Tom Cruise fan. I want Tom Cruise in everything, so I would be like ecstatic if Tom Cruise got to play a vampire again.
that'd be cool. I mean, he doesn't even play Lestat, but I would love to see him as a villain.
Which one is the Lestat movie where he's a rock star?
Queen of the Damned.
Queen of the
Yeah,
Queen
Damned.
of the
can
Damned,
we
yeah.
get that English actor to be Lestat, please? He was awesome. I think.
Oh
his name is
no, give me Tom. No, give me
He
Tom.
was just playing, and I'm like, holy crap! And I looked up that song. The person who wrote that song was the lead singer of Korn.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Jonathan Davis.
Yeah, that movie
Wow.
rocked my socks off.
I think the whole soundtrack was basically done by
And
them.
yeah, let's see Blade with some like heavy metal, and like let's keep the goth
for it.
going on. And
Oh
let's
man, yeah.
And you say heavy metal,
Wow.
there's only one word. Back for the attack. Docking.
Oh man, I can feel the cocaine hitting everyone's bloodstream right now. Ian's gone. The docking reference broke him. He's like, I'm out of here. Fuck this place. Place is dead anyway.
I'm out of here.
Back for the attack.
So Michael Ricci also pitching Blade versus Nosferatu. Says,
Hey,
come on,
did
that's
you guys know
obvious.
that Dawkins did the soundtrack to Nightmare on Elm Street 3? Oh,
All right.
just said any horror fan ever. Oh, Dawkins.
Well, it's not as cool as the Fat Boys doing Nightmare 4, but it's something. Are you ready
I
for
think the
Freddy?
Nosferatu thing would be cool. Him versus Nosferatu. This version of Nosferatu, this last version, like I
Or
would
just get Bill Skarsgård anything. I mean, makeup and
I could see Peter Skarsgård playing a good Blade villain, or Paul Walter
So
Hauser could
it
play a
would be-
good Blade
so
villain.
we're kind of going the way of like Freddy versus Jason, but you're doing like Blade versus these characters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I guess a little bit.
but again, it's the whole point. I think if you did like a Blade 5, is it really like you've.
How do we jump to 5?
He wants Tommy Gunn. He wants Tommy Gunn.
I'm
That's
just
why.
saying, like you bring in the TV show, you do all this stuff, it would be fun.
That's not 4.
Whatever. But the point is that if you did whatever this newer version is, it really should be Blade versus like one other person. Like it really, or heck, just do the original comic book, The Tomb of Dracula. Literally, bring Blade versus Dracula. I mean,
we did that in part 3. That's part 3. That's
I would
part 3.
also.
Is
I
it
would
3?
also-
Yeah, he's going against Dracula
See?
in 3.
You were so
Yeah,
busy.
yeah.
You're so busy skipping 4 to go to 5 that you forget about 3.
I would watch a buddy
Except
cop
Grace.
movie.
Grace doesn't forget 3.
I would watch a buddy cop movie with Blade and Doctor Strange, because that's kind of like they paired up in the comics a lot.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I think they would have a good chemistry. Wesley and Benedict Cumberbatch, like they just give me the 48 hours plot. They couldn't like each other less. They couldn't need each other more for whatever reason. They're stuck working together, and
Give me Wesley Snipes singing Roxanne in a jail with vampires. Give me that scene.
take
Give me
my
the
money.
money.
Yes. Oh my God. There's a new sheriff in town. He likes to ice skate uphill. So I don't know. We've put some things on the table. I don't know if we've quite beat. I'm gonna get you bloodsucker. That's just so fucking good.
That's I'm gonna remember that for the rest of my life.
Yeah, and Blades of Steel
And
too. That is
someone
also
better
incredible.
make that movie.
Yeah.
One of you guys out there make that movie.
AJ,
And
you
Angie's
make
pitch
it.
too. Angie's
I
pitch
might
is
make
great
it.
too.
I might make it. Yeah, I might make
Yeah.
it. I'm gonna get
Yeah,
you.
you might have
bloodsucker.
to. Hey, if you make that movie, I'll be there fucking pouring coffee on set. Whatever you need, I'm there sweeping floors to make that
Marlon
movie happen.
Wayans as Blade would be kind of great. I can't lie.
That would, yeah.
I'd be there for it. I like Marlon Wayans.
Fuck, dude. Yes, that would be so goddamn good.
Comedy. Let's
Well-
keep it to the dark horror it is.
Yeah, you can.
I think Marlon could. I mean, like he didn't get that chance to shine in GI Joe, but like like if you gave him some serious action,
His
horror,
work
I
in
think he could do-
Senseless was unrivaled.
I think he could do it.
Incredible.
I think he could do it.
I love Marlon Wayans. He's one of my favorite pieces of
shout
the
out to
'90s.
Marlon. I like you. I didn't mean any harm.
We know you're watching, Marlon.
Comedy. You're not only comedy. If he ever sees this, I want him to know.
He was he was this close to playing Robin in Batman Returns.
Yeah,
this close.
I forget that he was in GI Joe. I really kind of like he was in it the first one, but
I'm surprised you remember G.I. Joe, period.
Yeah, it's-
I think the
I'm
fucking
like,
president of Hasbro forgets about
Yeah.
GI Joe the
Yeah,
movie.
I was
You
like,
know?
that's right. He was it when they had like those suits or something, right? They had
Mm-hmm.
like robo suits or something. It was terrible. It was,
Yeah, that was
the worst.
nobody's finest hour. But I guess it is
Hey.
that time of the night. Then I
Let's
guess
stop
before-
bashing Channing Tatum movies.
let's never stop doing that. But I guess we could stop long enough for me to say.
Magic Blade X. You know, like that's a triple X or whatever.
Oh gosh, no! Keep Vin Diesel away from these.
Yeah,
We don't need that.
Vin Diesel.
This is not. There's no family.
Anything for family. No, you beat me to it.
Exactly.
Do it.
You
blood's-
can
this
have
blood's for you.
Pitch Black versus Blade.
Uh,
Interesting. Blade in space.
Riddick.
Oh, we should. In the fourth one, you're supposed to go
You
to
gotta
space.
go to
That's
space.
true.
Yeah, Blade in
See?
space. Yeah.
Blade
yeah.
Oh
Space.
man!
Pitch
All right, I would
Black.
watch that.
Pitch-
I would totally
Pitch
watch
Blade.
that.
You know,
Pitch Blade.
Pitch Blade. Pitch Blade.
like,
I'm into it. I love it. Yeah, it could be in space. It would be Blade Runner too. So
The
that
Blade-
works for
Blade Runner
multiple. Yeah, that works
3.
in multiple ways. That's right. Yeah, Blade Runner 2049 Part 2.
dude.
So I guess it is that time of the night for me to say if you guys have got anything in the works going on or anything you want to let the home audience know about or anything you want to tell them about Game On, where they can check that out. Now is the time. The floor is yours, Grace and Andrew.
Okay. Grace, get let off.
Okay, well, I'll just give a little bit of an intro and you could always pick it up. I know you will. Game On Peekaboo is about, I mean, we could even call it a chick flick. Chick flick meets Cabin in the Woods. It's me and my girlfriends. We go to a cabin and we get stalked by a killer. And not only is he a mean, bad man, but he records his killings for his audience to see. AJ, am I saying too much?
No, that's
Okay.
so basically it's when we made this film, I'm a real big fan of like, Friday the 13th when we were a kid. When I was a kid, I don't know when you were a kid, Grace, because when you were a kid,
Oh, when I
Blade came out.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, like Friday the 13th, Freddy,
our
all
day.
those, back in my day,
What?
I really like that campy kind of stuff, like, and it's 4 girls in a cabin and stalker killer kind of thing, where he streams his killings online on the dark web and people watch it for different reasons and stuff like that. So it's just a short. I want to do a feature based on it, where the killer's name is Peekaboo, and that's why it's subtitled Peekaboo, because that's the name of the killer. I wanted to name him something iconic because Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, Jigsaw. So now we have Peekaboo.
Oh yeah.
It's
Nice.
good, and you can check it out in the film festival circuit
Yeah, I
right
was just
now.
gonna say,
It's
we're
in the
doing
festival
film.
circuit.
Yeah, film festival run. That's why me and AJ are on this, because we met Chris at New Jersey HorrorCon. The short film Game On was nominated for Best Actress and Best Cinematography. So we're going to any Northeast film festival that we get into. We want to meet people. We want to talk about the movie, and we'll be doing more podcasts. So this is great for us to be on this. Thank you again.
We appreciate it.
Oh,
Thank
yes.
you guys.
Yeah, you
Awesome.
guys seriously come back on anytime, and we would love to talk more about Game On and hopefully see that feature length version coming at you real soon.
Yeah, man.
Ian, any articles coming up, Fandom Spotlight wise?
No, not this week because I've been dealing with the show, but there will be an article coming soon with based on a 1978 terrible movie called Man Meat.
Oh wow, that sounds nothing short of delicious.
It sounds delicious.
No brand.
Oh,
No
I will
water,
say-
just me.
He's a real movie, people.
He
Just-
made
Yeah.
that up. He made that's
It's a
not.
real
Yeah, I
real, it's
always
not
think
real.
that too. I
That's
always
not
think,
real.
yeah.
You made that up.
I
I'm
did.
gonna
So-
Google that.
There are
1978.
There are 2 more pitches in the chat I do want to read before I say goodnight here, though. Whiskey 4 with the pitch. Blade retires from hunting and decides to pursue paired figure skating. Snipes and Halle Berry star in The Cutting Blade. Be Still My Heart. Oscars all around. I would live for that. Blade on Ice. I was trying to figure out a way to do Blade on Ice, and you did it. So another one from
No
Whiskey.
crucifix.
Blade is off to Europe to get over his misadventures in romance and does a little soul searching and maybe some monster murder Eat Blade Love. Ooh, I like that. I thought you were gonna say how Wesley got his groove back, and I would be all for that too. On vacation, Blade learns how to kill vampires again and what to live for. That all these. There's no wrong way to Blade, folks. I'm just saying.
Blading to exhale.
Blading the eggshell. Oh
Oh,
my goodness.
this
Blading
is.
the eggshell. That one rivals the
Yeah, I'm gonna get you bloodsucker. That's right up there with that for sure. I mean, that is sling blade level good. So I guess that's where I have to cut myself off and say that you fandom fans might want to tune in.
Okay.
Oh, we didn't even talk about Christopherson. God, I want to do the whole intro in Christopherson voice because I'm old and I'm tired. I'm too tired and old to kill vampires, Blade. Damn it. They kill me in every movie. All right, so we will be off for the next 2 weeks. I'll be on a funeral/work trip, but you fandom fans might want to tune in not next Wednesday, but Wednesday, April 16th at 9 p.m. when we celebrate the star power of Sam Jackson and the special nature of our 187th Redux for our 187 episode. As always, if you enjoyed this video, the best way to help is to smash that like button and leave a comment telling us what movie or TV franchise that you want us to cover on a future episode of VCR Redux. It's our 187th episode. It's the only chance we're going to get to have this kind of a pun. I live for these things.
187 Monday. No, that's cool.
Well, folks, as always,
this show.
you get 2 weeks off to prepare mentally, and then I've got special things involved lined up just for you, Ian. You don't want to quit just yet. We've got the best is yet to come. But as always, if you enjoyed this video, the best way to help is to smash that like button and leave a comment telling us what movie or TV franchise that you want us to cover on a future episode of VCR Redux. And since you're already doing that, you might as well go ahead, like, subscribe, and follow Fandom Spotlight, Game On, and Pop Culture Punk. Till then, back up those Betamax, rewind those Laserdiscs, and we'll see you at the movies.